versatile type question. And constructing is needs a good practice. We have to get a skill. So otherwise, we cannot have a good multiple choice question. I hope if you could see that video, could also get just by changing the stem, but not changing the options. Distractors we call. By having constant distractors, by changing only the stem, so we get different abilities. If you see the video, you can get it. So hope if you see that, then you can get all those things. And then the final type of question is the practical exam. Okay. So what's a practical exam? So what is it? Yes.
We ourselves involve doing some experiments, sir.
So you are requested to do to identify something, to find the strength of something, to find what it is, what is the given salt is, or to find the focal length of a lens. Okay, or to find it, if you come to psychology, to find the IQ of a person. So the aim is the question. So if you modify the aim, then that will be the question. To find out the IQ of a person, which means that in aim you will be writing the question only, you will be putting in aim. So, okay. So where you are requested to work, you have to do some work. That's why we call psychomotor. So in practical, it assesses the psychomotor skills. So psycho means mental, motor means moving. So using your cognitive abilities, you are doing your skill. So 20 ml pipette cognitively, and if you want to pipette out, you have to take the 20 ml pipette and then keep in the solution, and then take the rubber and then press it, and judiciously take 20 ml up to the mark. So the solution has to come up to that mark. Till then you will be taking, and then you are dropping into the conical flask. So this shows your skill. So your practical test is one which measures your psychomotor domain. So this is the so a practical question which puts the examinee to perform a task to form and verify hypothesis, establishment of hypothesis, establishment of already proved. So all these things are there. To form hypothesis, that is one, or to verify the hypothesis, second one, third one, establish a hypothesis, fourth one, establish already proved law, Archimedes or Newton's third law. That was already proved, but as a student, you are learning. Okay, so puts the examinee to perform a task. So that is what practical question is. What is the second one we have to go after definition?
Criteria for construction.
Yes, criteria for construction of practical test questions. So we have three. B1, questions should test the psychomotor domain. So you have to use the verb for psychomotor domain. So normally 100%, almost to exception of one in the MCQ only, I have very exception of MCQ, remaining all I had the same thing. B1. Question should test your psychomotor domain. And B2 is the same. Almost all we have used the same B2, except a multiple choice question. Even in that it is same, I think. Almost 100% B2 is same. I have to tell again because we are seeing particularly that question, because these things are repeated. The ability B1 says about the ability level, B2 says the appropriate wording. So these won't be changing, and B3. The third one, it is exclusively for practical test questions. Safety measures to be taken for conducting a test. So that one differs. I hope we can understand B1 and also B2. Those things we have been telling again and again. For every question we are seeing this. And B3 is the different. It is only for this type of practical questions. Okay, that is, I think we'll see only the three. B3. So in this we have 5 points. We'll see them one by one. Practical sheets should be on the ability level of the students. Okay. So you have the practical. Suppose if it allotted for 12th standard, that is for 12th level only. Say for example, in 12th standard, what type of salts you have done in 12th standard? What do you call that salt? It has one acid radical and one basic radical in 12th standard. What you have done in your UG program? You have not done salt analysis no so far? Not yet given, or you have finished in your first year. Have you given salt to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, first year.
What was that salt we call? Generic name. You have done no double salt. You have done no.
Yes,
How many?
sir.
Why you are not doing? Forgot? Huh? So how many acid radicals were there and how many basic radicals were there? In double salt, then how many acid radical? How many basic radical?
Two acid radical and two basic
Two
radical.
acid radical and two
Basic
basic
radical,
radical.
sir.
Two acid radical and two basic radicals. So in 12th standard, you have mono, one acid and one base, which means only one salt, single salt has been given. In UG, you have performed double salt. Double salt means two acidic part and two basic parts. Suppose if you go for PG in chemistry, there will be 4 if you are going for PG chemistry. I think you may not be going because you are not eligible to do PG chemistry. Suppose you think that there are BSc chemistry students, they can go for MSc chemistry. If they go, that will be for 4 acid radical and 4 basic radical. You see the level increases. So +2 level we have single salt. UG level we have double salt. And in PG level we have quartet, 4. So 4 salts they'll be mixing and they'll be giving. So totally you have to identify 8. 4 will be acidic radical and 4 will be basic radical. 8 you have to identify. Okay, so that was the level. As you proceed, proceed high in the academic ladder, and also the practical level increases. That is the first one. So accordingly, for 12th we have to give single, and for UG you have to give double, and for PG you have to give quartet. 4 salts you have to mix and give. That should not be vice versa. So that one is the first one. Second, availability of necessary instruments or tools or chemicals should be checked. So that availability we have to check. So otherwise we cannot conduct a practical. So as far as you are concerned, it's okay. Almost our chemistry lab is fulfilled. But when you are a 4th year, you are a senior 4th year now. When they were in the first year, that time we were establishing our lab. That time we didn't have any materials. It was arriving, and we are constructing. As when they were here, we not even designed our lab. So just is an empty room, that physics and chemistry, and slowly we took the construction. Now we have a full-fledged lab. Anything? So 1 second, please.
Keep on the meeting 4 o'clock because Purnima is saying that everybody it will get over.
Okay.
Okay. Because 4:30 then 5:30 we don't know. Na?
Okay. 10 to busy. Okay.
Yeah, but we inform Purnima.
Leave. CL, I don't know.
Okay, we will be there.
And that's what our example is, that one. Since now we are full-fledged with respect to chemistry, we are fully fledged, and something we can add to psychology also. Now we have ICT also, it's full-fledged, 25 computers with internet connection. Screen also we said, AC also we have set for them, but these are not the essential conditions. Only essential is that computers. So those things are there. Another essential is that internet. Those things are there. And the screen and the AC are non-essential things, but if it is there, it will be good that we have given now. I don't know when it will come, but we are given. The third one, poisonous substances, should not be there for students. As far as the academic is concerned, maybe research people may be having. Even for a UG BSc chemistry, arsenous oxide they will give for titration as an oxidizing agent, but little bit arsenous oxide is poisonous. So carefully they will give, and they won't give to students. The faculty himself, he will weigh and he will prepare the volumetric solution. He will guide under the presence of him only. The titration will be done by the students, and if at the end he will take it everything and he will like that. So poisonous substance should not be used, and even for sodium is somewhat highly reactive. So that also under the supervision of the faculty we can take it and then use. So these things, and the fourth one is that I am referring about sodium, explosive substance. So UG people will be using. So just you take it, I could have seen that video also, even if you want, you can Google it, just take a bit of sodium, put in water, it explodes. So there is one factory near Kadalur district in Tamil Nadu, Shashan Industries. They use sodium to prepare tablets in ranitidine. I hope you would have heard the name ranitidine, the tablets. Where we are using that ranitidine? Do you know the about tablets ranitidine?
For us, not get acidity.
Yes. So suppose if you are taking more tablets, invariably the doctor will give ranitidine, not to get acidity. Just that we will take before food. Then we will take food. After that we will take medicines. So it will be given for acidity. That ranitidine is prepared in that industry solution. They have sodium as the raw material for preparing that, and that sodium always it will be in AC. See, for preparing tablets they need tens of sodium, not 1 kilo or 2 kilo. There will be hundreds of kilos of sodium, and that sodium, no, it will be only in AC. Full, that hall full where sodium is stored, it will be, they will keep under minus or 0 less than 0. Even suppose if you go to some lab, no, there are some chemicals which they keep in minus 0 level or is the little less than, because if you increase the temperature, that will explode. So therefore, but as far as our 12th and UG level concern, that much we won't be using, and that are avoided. That's why, since those conditions are to be met, know that AC room, and then these are suppose school level, those are kids, therefore no need of explosive substance. Research level they will be having, but precautionarily they will be using all these things. And then the last safety measure. Also I have said while discussing, whenever we use all these things, examiners, they will be under the supervision of a faculty. If those poisonous substances is there, and it's generally for practical, normally 2 people will be there. For theory 1, and if at all practical is there, generally 2 faculty will be there because of supervision. So to the possible extent, it has to be supervised. So these are the 5 safety measures for a practical question. And these are the third one we will be seeing advantages. So it mostly, even though it measures psychomotor domain, psychomotor it's not a watertight compartment. It will not come. So we have to have the cognitive and affective domains to execute our work. See, whatever work we are doing, suppose if you are listening, you have that interest in the class. If you have that interest, whatever you learn, that will be stored. If you are not interested, and then if you learn anything not in this class, whatever it is, that won't be, attention will not be there. So whenever you have interest comes in affective domain. If interest is there, automatically whatever you learn, that goes directly, and also it is stored in the brain. If there is no interest and if you are compelled, so you can also have that. Suppose if when we are at school or somewhere, now our parents will tell, don't go there, don't, so tomorrow is your exam, sit and read. And suppose if you are hesitant now under that coupled atmosphere, if we learn, and many things may not go well in the brain, because we are disinterested. Therefore, even though we are measuring the skill, it inherently all those two things will be there. It will be there. If those things are without knowledge of the theory, we cannot do the practical. So, suppose if we do the titration, we should know the law of titration. What is the law of titration? What is that law? You have done titration, no? You got that formula V1 N1 equal to V2 N2. Yes. Equinormal solution will react equally each other. From that equation only we got that V1 N1 equal to, so we know now the equation. So V1 N1 equal to V2 N2. So this equation has come from the law. Equinormal solution will react equally each other. So if you have taken one normal HCl and one normal, so this is HCl and this is NaOH. If you taken one normal HCl and one normal NaOH, if we take 20 ml of one normal HCl, if it is reacted with one normal NaOH, how many ml of NaOH is needed? Yes.
20 ml, sir.
20 ml. 20 ml. So 20 ml is the right answer. So is there any other answer apart from this? Yes. Is there any other answer apart from 20 ml? So it is 20 ml. Therefore, equinormal solution will react equally. So normals are equal. Therefore, volumes are equal. So with this, with that only we got this. So this is the basis of all titrations. Okay. So for every practical we have a theory. And the handling of apparatus, that will be known by only doing practical tests. Otherwise we may not be knowing. So if everything is in theory, we may not be knowing. So suppose if you prepare a question paper, if you are preparing a very good question paper, we know that your ability in constructing a question. So preparing a question paper is a practical. Suppose if you prepare a question paper for 9th standard, then that is a practical. This titration is chemistry. Preparing a question paper with respect to assessment. So the last in that base is limitations. So four limitations. The first one is we need a skilled teacher to go for practicals. And we also said in safety measures, availability of instruments, tools, availability of chemicals. All those things are needed. If that is not there, we cannot conduct practical. Okay, then the last one is you cannot have practical for entire syllabus. So practicals, it's a limited to some extent. Suppose if you take our childhood and growing up, we are not seeing practical for every hour, even in learning and teaching. Probably we might not have seen practical also for that subject. So for everything we can, because of the workload, we cannot convert the entire thing into practical. To some extent, in psychology, just we have some assessment, that's all. That too, your junior, that paper has been removed. It is joined with theory. Our personality personality assessment, IQ assessment. I think Isaac you have done, and I too, that time I too introduced you the assessing intelligence. So those things and all we have seen. But for your juniors, we have merged with childhood and growing up. They don't have a separate psychology practical, because chemistry practical they have from your junior chemistry practical is on for four semesters. For you, it is only 3 semesters. For them, it is for 4 semesters. Okay. But anyway, that is the limit. The fourth one is the limitation. And these are the two examples. I hope like this one you will be writing all questions. The question should be there, followed by SIO, followed by GAO in brackets. Find whether the given substance is an acid or a base. So I have to correct this. Given substance is singular. Find whether the given substance is an acid or a base. So it's an acid or a base. So that you have to go for test. Which test will you do for this question?
Litmus test.
What is that?
Litmus test.
Little bit louder, please. I'm not getting.
Sir, litmus test.
Okay, correct. Litmus test is correct. Any other? See, we have done titration in second semester. Phenolphthalein. You can use phenolphthalein, litmus, methyl orange. All those indicators you can use. Okay, next find the given volume of given cube. They will give the cube, you have to find it by measuring it, you have to find the volume. So it's not a question like mathematics 4/3 pi r cube like that. You have to put and then measure side and then find the radius and then put it in that, you will get the volume.